Welcome to Just After My Bedtime, the only show that still remembers when sneakers came with a story and not a lottery selection. I'm your host, Sal G. And tonight, I gotta get to the bottom of what happened to one of my favorite pastime hobbies, and that's the art of the sneaker game. Okay. Before I get started, I gotta mention, I came from an era where the white sneakers below is merely an example of how the original Nike collabs used to be. That's right, kid. An Air Force One, possibly with colors, but usually just white on whites, and Nike would just slap a logo on the side. No deep cut niche Nike models or underappreciated Jordan remakes, just forces with a logo. That's it. But anywho, as a retired sneakerholic myself, I gotta get to the bottom of what happened to the sneaker game. We all watched it happening, ignored all the signs, and settled for complaining amongst ourselves. Because listen, this game used to mean something, man. Sneakers weren't just shoes, they were tribe identifiers. They were self-expression. And as shameful as it is to admit today, you could assume what somebody was about just by what was on their feet. Or at least that's what we thought at that time. But now everybody's dressed like they need to make a gas station run real quick. Okay, but before I get ahead of myself, let's start with the obvious truth nobody wants to say out loud. Today, there's no soul Michael Jordan. See what I did there? Soul, like sneaker soul. You get it. Anyways, but back in the late 1900s, I don't care what nobody says, Jordan Brand was the center of Nike, which in turn made it the center of the sneaker world and culture. One guy, one silhouette, one myth. And in that era, you wasn't just buying Jordans. You was inheriting responsibility. You walked different. You stood different. And you definitely hooped different. Well, you thought you did at least. My jumper was still as broke as I was after spending my last on a pair. And don't let you get a scuff on them. That'll change your priorities. Quick, you gotta get that scuff out and them laces clean stat. Can't be out here with people calling you poo-putt. Word to Mitch. And these kids today, they don't even wear basketball shoes casually at all, which feels crazy, cause we was rocking pennies and Dunkin' foam posits, KG flight posits and KGs, hell, standalone flight posits, Barclays, Griffeys, Air Aids, Dion's, and even Cheryl Swoops. Only real ones know about those back in the day, and this was before y'all was Nike by you and the Yeezy colorways of the Sabrinas. I mean, even the more recently, with the Bronze, KDs, Kobe's, and Kyrie. I know, I'm missing some, but I'm making a bigger point here. Now kids are like, so what, old head? Now why would I wear basketball shoes off the court with all that ankle support when I could just be comfortable and wear Crocs? Crocs? You mean the shoe that looks like hospitality non-slips, with the exception of a few, that, I gotta be real, they was fire. Happy Black History Month, by the way, and shout out to Salehi Bembury for taking them to the next level. Moving on. Back in the day, when we wore basketball shoes, we either knew how to put fits together or we hooped, or both, or at least you lied about it convincingly. Now kids are like, nah, I'm good. These bulky slip-ons got sport mode. Like that's the solution. Meanwhile, us OG sneakerheads, to keep it a bean, our feet are done, or at least mine are. From years of squeezing my feet into my favorites from my hoarded collection from high school, to settling for the size too small and removing the insoles because your actual size sold out. That's right, kids. When they didn't have our size, we sized up or down. Didn't matter. There was no resale market. Just Nike talk boards or hope a classmate was willing to trade you. But now, today, when we try to rock our favorite Nikes or J's from back in the day and think we about to adult all day and head to the grocery store or hit a live event, our feet immediately file a complaint. Like, nah, champ, we didn't put our work in. Go ahead. Lace up some retro Jordans or some old Barkley Air Max 2 CB94s post 34 if you want to. You better size up, because if you don't, at this age, don't even worry about it. Your feet will reach out to your brain like, hey champ, y'all good up there? Because just a reminder, we ain't 22 no more. We can't do the constricted footwear no more. Arch support, gone. Cushioning almost doesn't count. You even walk to the garage and your feet start reminding you of every bad sneaker size decision you made since 2001. But recently, I've been thinking back though, man. I just remember how getting sneakers used to be an event. I mean, they still are, but back then, they weren't corporate sponsored. So are they really events in the same way? Seriously. We had Slam Magazine, Kicks Magazine, hell, even Eastbay too. Even though nobody remembers signing up for Eastbay, we all got that magazine at our house every month, just teasing us for our parents to be like, nah, not today, on release day. Okay. To be fair, my mom watches this show. Hi, Mom. So for full disclosure, we were a buy and store on release day type of family. Everybody ain't trust giving your credit card info out over the phone, my mom being one of them. Moving on. Those magazines, you circled the shoes like, not this month, but soon, I'm copping those UNC flight posits, or definitely gonna get those Syracuse straps for those Nike Adjust Forces to go with my Ocho Cinco Bengals jersey. Woo, I'ma kill them. Sidebar, I never got that jersey or those shoes ever. But we all dreamed. But now, Slam isn't even a staple anymore. And Eastbay is gone. And unfortunately, Nike Talk didn't evolve how it should have. I mean, it should have been StockX if you ask me. Now, there's no build up, no anticipation, just an app telling you, hey, guess what? I got news for you. You didn't get them. No explanation, just digital rejection, which is literally a sneaker equivalent, a swipe left. And don't get me started about these commercials. It's a thing of the past. I guess sneaker companies figured they could just use influencers to push the product instead of actual gifted athletes. Cause look around, where are they? The commercials, not the athletes. I mean, outside of Anthony Edwards, who feels like the only NBA player who's still allowed to have fun in ads. Now, it's quiet. A little too quiet if you ask me. Where's the personality? Where's the I want to be like him energy? sneaker ads used to feel like short films. Now it's like a leaked photo on Instagram or Bron rocking them in a tunnel during a pregame in Memphis. And the brands are like, buy them or don't. The algorithm really doesn't care. Now let's talk about resellers. They're like the third Paul brother, because resellers didn't just raise prices, they killed the joy. It used to be you camped out or you showed up at the mall at 5 a.m. and you snuck in through the janitor's side door, you met strangers, you talked trash about why if it wasn't for AI, okay, Allen Iverson kids, not ChatGPT. But back then, waiting in that line, you would definitely trash talk like if it wasn't for Georgetown's AI, nobody would be looking at Reebok. You see, us DC and Maryland natives remember AI at Georgetown in the Concords. That's the AI we know, but we supported them all the way from the Cap Center to Philly and Reebok. We didn't care, because that was AI. But if we talking Reebok, it's worth noting Shawn Kemp and Shaq definitely had some heat there too. Alright, I got off track. But in that line, we bonded over sneaker lore and exclusive colorways. Shout out to the original Jordan brand guys, especially Derek Anderson and Mike Bibby and them exclusive lows that took 20 years to make it to retail. But now on release day, it's like bots fighting bots, like Rock'em Sock'em, while humans watch from the sidelines like, so am I actually in the queue or is this all a ruse? Now, I won't act naive as if I wasn't around for the inception of this situation. Let me break down the villain origin story of this bot situation. The year was 2009, and Kanye West announced he would drop his second colorway of the Yeezy One. That's right, the Blink colorway, on the morning of May the 4th be with you. Yes, a Monday. Mind you, this is after the Zen colorway went fantastically well on April the 4th, precisely a month earlier. I'm swelling y'all. Actually, it didn't. It was chaos in the streets, damn near riots. A complete zoo, if I'm being honest. So because of that, shoe stores didn't know what to do. So the only fair and responsible solution was apparently to do a raffle. Now you have to win an opportunity to buy. This wasn't, it still ain't it, in my opinion. So I guess this just concludes my raffle villain origin story. That's it. The Yeezy One Black and Pink on May the 4th, 2009. A day us sneakerheads will never forgive and never forget. Besides, we all know raffles are about as fair as the frozen envelope theory at 85. And truthfully, hype never left the scene, but I think hope did, unfortunately. Now, we can't even plan to buy sneakers. You enter a sweepstakes and hope for the opportunity to buy. I know, feels just as insane to say it as it is for y'all to hear it. And then when you reach the inevitable, as most sweepstakes go, and you lose combined with the side raffles you entered and also lose, you're stuck with one option. Go on to the hell that is the resellers app, from OfferUp all the way to StockX, which puts me in a compromising situation. Me, Sal G, a grown adult mind you, has to go buy the same shoe from a high school kid for triple the price, while he's coincidentally rocking a pair of, you guessed it, a pair of Crocs. And just to add additional insult to injury, he also has those little Lucky Charms attached to him. He chilling too while ripping me off. He ain't even put the Crocs in sport mode. The audacity. And now I realize every time these sought after shoes, half the time I'm looking to buy happen to be another damn collaboration. Yep, got me too. Every shoe collab now is like, it's the classic you know and love. But because I told you this inspiring story about why I chose this colorway and palette, what was once $125 retail is now an art piece you can own for an investment of $400. $400? Them ain't bucks. $7 is a few bucks. $400 is dollars. Just so we all clear. But I personally feel like it's too many collaborations on old silhouettes. Okay, alright, time out. Before I place any blame out there, perhaps we should look inward. I mean, I was on Nike Talk back in 2001. Maybe we should hold ourselves responsible. Truthfully, is this one on us? We always said the game was to be sold, but hell, not by somebody half my age and for triple the price. I guess ultimately, this is our fault. We dictated the shoe's true value, and to quote S. Dot himself, we smartened up and they opened the market up. But now shoes that weren't worth a damn then are now this generation's grails, and are going for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Okay, maybe not 1,000, but some damn near. Look, I know for sure, if retro, it wouldn't be a single Ginger or Cherrywood 16 on sales racks today. Sometimes I look at these retro releases and think, who is this for? Because it's not for hoopers. It's not for everyday wear. Got it. It's for a guy that says, you know what? I always wanted these growing up, but couldn't never get them. And now I got the money and I'ma get them. Outside of that, you can find most of your so-called grails in outlets. Now the internet tries to convince you if the timeline doesn't hype it or the celebrity doesn't endorse it, they must not be cool anymore. Well, that's if you fall for it. It feels like it's just a matter of time before sneakers have their own section on Rotten Tomatoes. And good luck pleasing the masses. And let's be real about even hoarding a collection these days. The lifespan of shoes ain't what it used to be. Our OGs and first retros survived decades. Well, outside of the 2s through 6s, they were always notorious for dry rotting quick. But outside of those models, it wasn't much of an issue. Yeah, over time, you have sole separation and glue issues, you know, normal aging stuff. But now, shoes barely make it a decade sitting in the box. You pull them out and they crumble like ancient artifacts. And don't get me started on originality. Where they at though? Every new release feels familiar like a memory, but something's always slightly off. Like, hold up, is this the Mandela effect or is this toe box off? Or didn't these used to be highs because the retros look like bids? Or when we had these back in the day, they were suede and now they nubuck, amongst other quality issues and changes. But this is how we feel. Now, nothing is risky, nothing is weird, nothing makes you say, these are definitely different, but nah, I could pull these off. And that's another real problem. Sneakers used to challenge you, encourage you to take a chance. But here's the thing, money, this ain't just about the shoes. It's about how culture moves now. Everything is fast, everything is louder, but with a short attention span and with a lot less soul. And unfortunately, a lot more resale value. Look, the sneaker game didn't disappear. It grew up and forgot why it got started. Like when Peter Pan forgot he was a lost boy at one point. Maybe we all just need to use our imaginations again and believe. Or maybe we're learning a valuable lesson about life. Maybe it isn't about chasing drops or hype or approval for that matter, which is something we should all appreciate, applaud, and encourage. Because truly, it should be about wearing what you actually love, even if the internet doesn't tell you to. Because truthfully, none of it really matters. What truly matters at the end of the day is being yourself. But with that being said, I'm gonna do me and unlace these suckers, because I probably should have sized up instead of assuming I still wear the same size from college. Because I'm here to tell you, trends fade, feet hurt, and athletes retire. Except LeBron, apparently. Man, y'all like, comment, and shit. Y'all take care. Peace.